Hello all you beautiful people. In this video I'll be showing you the best class and subclass mods in Baldur's Gate 3, and this is going to have some from the mod manager itself as well as some that will be coming soon to console and also PC as they get added into the mod manager. So I'll be showing first here the best that we got in the base mod manager itself, as well as then getting into some that will be added later on. They are on Nexus Mods right now. Unfortunately not updated for patch 7, but if you want to play with patch 6 versions you can roll it back. I got a video on how to do that. But I'll be showing you 20 different subclasses and classes in this video and a little bit more as some honorable mentions. So first things first, I want to show off the Mystic here. This is one of my favorite subclasses so far. This is added into the mod manager itself, and it's extremely powerful. So you get psionic talents here as your cantrips, and you got things that do psychic damage. You can knock creatures prone with no checks. It's got energy beam, which you can change the damage type like a chromatic orb. This is extremely powerful subclass, and then you also got a ton of different psionic disciplines here. So you can see there's a ton of them, and each of them is going to give you 5 or 6 spells each. I'm having a bit of a glitch right now that I can't select them, so that is something to keep in mind. But you can see there's a ton of different ones, from giving your team haste to being able to cast a couple spells at once. There's a lot of really cool options here, and then there's 9 different subclasses for the Mystic, so we got a lot of options here. So this one's really cool. I'm a big fan of this. I've already done 2 build guides on this, so if you want to see it in action you can go check those out. But yeah, this is really cool because you get a lot of different options. Oh, you can change some of them here now, but yeah, there's tons of options in this, and that's what makes it so great. But there's 3 really main classes that we got so far. The Dark Ranger, which is kind of like a ranger mixed with a necromancer. It's a full-on class. It has different spells here and the ability to get advantage on enemies with less than 50% health. So this is a pretty cool class. And then the Draconic Cultivator, which is kind of a mix between the Draconic Sorcerer and Paladin, so it gives you a ton of different cantrips. This one's meant to be overpowered, but as for the spells as for the classes that we got so far in the mod manager, there's really just these 3, with the Mystic being extremely in-depth and one of the most powerful choices. It is quite OP, but with that, I'll be showing you guys some more classes that will be added to the mod manager at a later date, and they're currently available on Nexus Mods. So the first one that I'll be showing is the Circle of the Stormchasers. This is a cool one because this gives you the ability to play as a Druid that's kind of a blend between a Tempest Cleric and like a Storm Sorcerer. So with this, you get Shocking Grasp, Thunderwave, Misty Step, Shatter, Fly, Lightning Bolt, Ice Storm, Conjure Mind Elemental, Cone of Cold, and Thunder, Maelstrom, which is a Maelstrom reskin. It also has this Storm Shifter ability here, so this is really well done, and I gotta give a shout out to these mod creators. Havsglimped, he's created a ton of incredible mods that I wanted to talk about today because they're extremely well done. So unfortunately they're not updated for patch 7 yet, but I do have a really good suspicion that they will be added into the mod manager itself, because these can kind of be added as people start developing them. So there's an incentive there. If you want to be making some of these, go right ahead. And I'm trying to learn how to mod too, so that I can potentially make some of these here. But Storm Shifter, this is really cool. It's a wild shape you turn into like Storm, and with this your body turns into power. Frost builds at your fingertips, and you get temporary health points equals to 3 times your Druid level. Add your Wisdom modifier to lightning, thunder, or cold damage, my favorite damage types. And storm clouds swirl around your feet that dampen your falls, granting immunity to fall damage. So this isn't too overpowered, honestly. That's what nice thing about these mods from Havsglimped is that they are very, very balanced and extremely fun to give yourself a different option. So there's a bunch of different spells. So you got like Call Lightning, Storm's Reach, and there's a thunder and cold version of that, which is really cool. And then there's different skills that you can also get, like the Empowered Shift, giving you a stronger embodiment of the Wrath of the Sky and Sea. All thunder and cold damage you deal while Storm Shifted ignores resistance and treats immunity as resistance. So you get a little bit more damage output there, which is awesome. And yeah, you also get to Reap the Whirlwind here, which is lightning, thunder, cold. And this is exchange of target's immunity with resistance. So I guess a bit of an issue there, but at level 14, which a lot of these mods do have like up to level 14 to implement some of the things that are in D&D itself. The Mystic itself, this class here also has it. So some of the mods that allow you to go up to level 20 are useful here. So you do need a mod that allows you to go past level 12. So basically with this spell, you can cast each of the following spells without expending a spell slot. So Create or Destroy Water, Gust of Wind, and they are bonus actions, and Chain Lightning, which costs an action. So you get a lot of really cool abilities. And then 5th level spell, Tornado. So basically You can't place in a body of water, and in a 9-meter radius when concentrating on the spell, it becomes difficult terrain, and enemies must succeed a strength saving throw or take 66 bludgeoning damage and be pulled 3 meters toward the center. Pretty cool. So yeah, this mod itself is very fun. There's a ton of them that I'll be going over in this video, but I really like the Druid, and the Circle of Stormchasers would be my #1 Druid subclass. But we also have another Druid one here, the Wildfire, which I'll be showing off a bit later. But next we got ourselves a Lunar Sorcerer, and this is a great one for Baldur's Gate 3, or for Elden Ring fans, because this kind of falls in alignment with the Carrion line of sorcery there, so Rani the Witch. But the Lunar Sorcery, so this is a cool spin on the Sorcerer, my favorite class in this game. So you get full moon, crescent moon, and new moon's lunar embodiment. But basically with this, whenever you finish a long rest, you can choose which lunar phase manifests as power. With the chosen phase, you can cast one level 1 spell associated with the phase without expending a spell slot. Once you cast a spell this way, you can't do so until a long rest. And then there's a bunch of new spells of this too, so you get to choose a lunar phase, which persists until you switch to another, and it gives you the following spells. So Full Moon will give you Shield, Lesser Restoration, Glyph of Warding, Death Ward, and Greater Restoration. All these are scaling up in levels. New Moon gives Ray of Sickness, Blindness, Vampiric Touch, Confusion, and Hold Monster. And Crescent Moon gives Color Spray, Mirror Image, Blink, Greater Invisibility, and Seeming. So what's nice is the Sorcerer doesn't get as many spells, so being able to get a bit more is very useful. So some of the spells in the New Moon spell list aren't actually in the game, so they had to kind of switch some of these around and give new ones. Now there's also a spell, Moonfire, which is kind of a reskin of Sacred Flame, but you learn a Sacred Flame spell and you can cast a spell. You can target one creature's normal or 2 targets within the range if they're within 1.5 meters of each other. So a little bit of a boost to the cantrip Sacred Flame, which is really nice. You also get Lunar Boons at level 6. You get to choose Abjuration, Divination spells if you're Full Moon. New Moon, you get Enchantment and Necromancy spells. So these are the spells that you would get extra. You also get Waxing and Waning here. At level 6, you gain greater control over the phase of your lunar magic. As a bonus action, you can spend 1 sorcery point to change your current embodiment to another. So giving you some options to switch around these spells as you see fit, which is pretty nice. Another thing with this is you also get the Lunar Empowerment at level 11. Whenever you're in Lunar Embodiment phase, you also gain the following benefits. For Full Moon, you can use a bonus action to shed light in a 3-meter radius or douse a light. In addition, you and your allies have advantage on investigation and perception checks. Again, what I love about these, it's not overpowered, but it's nice for different situations. New Moon has advantage on stealth checks. In addition, when you're entirely in darkness, attack rolls against you have disadvantage. And Crescent Moon gives you necrotic and radiant damage resistances. So honestly pretty good, because the Full Moon kind of has more powerful spells, whereas the Crescent Moon has less. So quite balanced, and then it also comes with a subclass themed die. So that's another really cool subclass and a pretty fun one. I don't know if it'd be as strong as like a Draconic or a Storm Sorcerer, because those two are already very overpowered. But just seeing the spells and the different options that you get here, again, these are balanced ones. I didn't want to add too many that are overpowered. The Mystic itself is pretty overpowered for what it is. You get a ton of spells, which I'll show off some of the spells for the Mystic near the end, because it'll end up destroying camp. But yeah, Lunar Sorcery, very well done. Another really cool one that I wanted to touch on is the Green Knight. This is also made by Havsglimt here, and this is a fighter who draws on the power of nature to imbue their attacks with strength and the strength of Earth itself. They are fierce defenders of the natural world, sworn to protect it at all costs. So kind of like an Eldritch Knight type Druid, it has Green Knight spellcasting, so when you reach level 3, you get to augment your martial prowess and cast spells. You learn 2 of the Druid spells, and you learn an additional Druid cantrip at level 10. Also, you gain access to 3 level 1 Druid spells. So, again, this is like the Eldritch Knight, but you get some Druid additions here. And Wisdom's a spellcasting modifier, so use your Wisdom whenever a spell refers to your spellcasting modifier, and you make Wisdom rolls, all that jazz. So, you also get the Nature's Blessing, which gains proficiency in animal handling and nature skills, which aren't really the best, I'll be honest, but I understand why in this case. So, the original only gives proficient with nature, but this also gives animal handling forms, and while allowing you to use druidic focus as a spell casting. So since focuses don't exist in Baldur's Gate 3, they kind of did what they had to there. You also get the Verdant Weapon, which at level 3 you learn basically Shillelagh or Shillelagh cantrip. This does not count against your cantrips known. You can target any weapon with it, but when targeting a weapon other than a club, quarterstaff, or great club, its effect does not change the damage die. When you target a great club, the damage die becomes 1d12. So this basically is an upgraded version of Shillelagh. Allows you to use Wisdom as both your spellcasting and attack modifier, and you can dump your Strength basically with that, which is kind of cool. Obviously, you want to not dump Strength for certain reasons, but it also affects ranged weapons and doesn't change their damage die. They'll become magical and do damage based off Wisdom instead. So pretty cool. Basically Shillelagh, but you can use any weapon, but does give extra benefits to those. Typically, Great Club would be your weapon of choice with this. You also get Regrowth at level 7, which is additional use of your Second Wind feature. Allows you to use it again. Second Wind being the healing spell you get at level 1 of Fighter. And then Ancient Warding at 10th level, you can use your Indomitable feature to reroll a saving throw against a magical effect and add your proficiency bonus to the result. And pretty useful there to be able to succeed on saves. So, yeah, this one isn't super overpowered, but it's basically just giving you the, instead of having the weapon bind, you get Shillelagh that can be used on any weapon, so, and also all the Druid spells too. So this is a pretty fun one because it's not broken, and it's quite a cool spin on the fighter if you wanted to go with like a, focus more on like spell casting alongside fighting. Got some cool looking armor there, so I'll showcase this. And yeah, there's the some extra spells that you get. It's a verdant weapon, basically using your changes the attack. Now you can also use a club, which is cool. So verdant weapon works on clubs or torches, and there's a torch in Act 3 that gives you extra 1d4 of fire and necrotic damage. So that'd be a perfect one to use on that. Just a little pro tip there. But yeah, this is a pretty cool one, Green Knight. And we'll be getting into someone's favorite. There are a lot of people's favorite after this one, but the College of Spirits. This is a Bard subclass. Now, Bards already have very powerful ones with the Sword Bard, but this is the College of Spirits. So this seeks tales with inherent power, be they legends, histories, or fictions, and bring their subjects to life. Using occult trappings, these bards conjure spiritual embodiments of powerful forces to change the world once more. So you get Guiding Whispers. At 3rd level, you can reach out to spirits to guide others, and you learn to guide cantrip, which doesn't count against the number of cantrips you learn, and has a range of 18 meters. So basically just guidance with a new name. Does not stack with both guidance, so you can only use one at a time, but it's nice to have that. You also get Spiritual Focus. At 3rd level, you employ tools that help you with channeling spirits, be they fictional features or fictional archetypes. The Spiritual Focus takes the form of a jawless skull. And then at level 6, when you cast a Bard spell that deals damage or restores health points, you gain a 1d6 bonus to 1 damage or healing roll of a spell. So that's pretty cool. So basically just a spiritual summon here, a skull instrument that you can use in lieu of your regular instrument. So that's pretty cool. I think that's an interesting little addition there. You get the Tales from Beyond to at level 3, where you reach out to spirits who tell their tales through you. You can use a bonus action to expend one of your bardic inspiration and roll on the spirit tales to give your bardic inspiration die to determine the tale the spirit to direct you to tell. You remain in the tale in mind until you bestow the tale's effect or finish a short or long rest. So you can use an action to choose one creature to see within 9 meters of you, including yourself, to be the target of the tale. So here's the tales here. Now, this works like it does in 5e, which is pretty interesting. Tales of a Clever Animal. Until next long rest, whenever the target makes an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check, the target can add bonus equal to the bardic inspiration. The Tail of the Round Duelist. You make a melee attack against the target. On hit, the target takes force damage equal to 2 rolls of your bardic inspiration die plus charisma modifier. So that's pretty good. Adding 2 rolls of bardic inspiration, which can potentially be like 20 damage plus like potential of 6 to 7 charisma at max level. That's honestly pretty good. And force damage being one of the best damage types. Tail of Beloved Friend. So target another creature within 2 meters and it gains temporary health points equal to your roll of the bardic inspiration die plus charisma modifier. A little bit extra health, always nice. Tail of the Runway. The target can immediately use his reaction and teleport up to 9 meters to an unoccupied space it can see. When it teleports, allies within 9 meters may use the same reaction. So nice little teleportation. Tail of the Avenger for 1 minute. So that's 10 turns. Any creature that hits the target with a melee attack takes force damage equal to a roll of your bardic inspiration die. So that's also pretty nice for 10 turns. Obviously, Renowned Duelist is more so for burst damage, but Tail of the Traveler gain temporary health points equal to a bardic inspiration die plus its level. While it has these temporary hit points, the target's walk speed is increased by 3 meters, and it gains a +1 to its armor class. So kind of like haste almost, but without the big benefits of haste. But extra health points is always nice. So yeah, that's honestly quite cool for just a little bit of extra, like the Valor Bard can add some combat inspiration, but the Tales from Beyond are super interesting. So yeah, that is pretty cool. Now, Tales from Beyond D8 results, you got the Tales of the Beguiler. So the target must make a Wisdom saving throw or take psychic damage equal to 2 rolls of your Bardic Inspiration die, and the target is incapacitated until the next turn. That's pretty awesome. And also Tales of the Phantom, the target becomes invisible until the end of its next turn, or until it hits a creature with an attack. If the creature hits an enemy, or if it hits a creature with an attack during this invisibility, the creature takes necrotic damage equal to your Bardic Inspiration roll, and is frightened until the end of the frightened creature's next turn. So that's pretty good. Until the end of their next turn is pretty solid. And then the D10 ones, we have the Tail of the Brood. So you may target force enemies within 9 meters to make a strength saving throw. On a fail save, the creature takes thunder damage equal to 3 rolls of your Bardic Inspiration and is knocked prone. A creature that succeeds at saving throw must takes half as much damage and isn't knocked prone. So Tail of the Brood just adds a bunch of extra damage to Thunder, which is actually a pretty good damage type. And Tail of the Dragon, the target may spew fire from its mouth in a 9-meter cone. Each creature in the area must make a dexterity saving throw equal to, and its throw taking fire damage equal to 4 rolls of your Bardic Inspiration, so that could be upwards of 40 damage. And on a fail save, take half as much. So lots of Tales of Beyond. So you got all these at D6, D8, and D10 level, and obviously you can increase those as you level up. And also, we get ourselves a Spirit Session. At level 6, Spirits provide you with supernatural insights, allowing you to conduct a ritual channeling spells. At the end of this ritual, you temporarily learn 1 spell from any class. The ritual commune with the dead. In this way, it requires constant focus for an extended period of time, can only be performed in camp. So basically, you get yourself a free spell if you're choosing. It's like Magical Secrets, but you can choose a new one every long rest. That's an awesome little addition there for your subclass. So level 6, this is actually a very powerful class, but not OP. It's not overly broken. I still think the Sword Bard could be better, so that's pretty cool. So it must be a level you can cast, and it must be in the School of Divination or Necromancy, and the Spark spell counts as a Bard spell, so you can cast it with Charisma. And yeah, you can swap these out. Now, there isn't that many Necromancy and Divination spells, but if you got any extra added spell mods, you get some extra choices there, so that's really cool. This is a fun one. I really like it. Giving yourself the Tales of Beyond is one thing that I wanted to put this like very early on in this video, just because it adds a lot of extra benefits. It's obviously a bit better in the sort of the Bard, Valor Bard, but the College of Spirits is still pretty cool. Spirit Bard's fun subclass, and I can't wait to see this in the Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager. Next, we got everyone's favorite, the Artificer. This is doesn't need much introduction. This has different infusements, different buffs, so there's the Steel Defender, Eldritch Cannon, Alchemy System, and so much more. This is one of the most well-done ones, and it has all the way up to level 120 abilities with handheld guns and mini arc reactors. This is a really cool one. So there's the Artificer there. Simple weapons, hand crossbow, light crossbow, longsword, swords, longbows, short bows, medium armor and shields, and cantrips. You get spellcasting as well, so that's really nice. And yeah, this one has 4 subclasses: Alchemist, Armorer, Artillerist, and the Battlesmith. Each of these having their own benefits here, so very cool. I think that this is one of the more fun ones. And then yeah, the Battlesmith gives martial weapon proficiencies. Armorer obviously giving heavy armor proficiencies, so there's a lot going on with this. You can also create like Steel Defenders here, so this is a really fun one. Yeah, and you also get like flintlock muskets. Very, very cool. And there's a bunch of armor that comes with this as well. This is a interesting one, and I cannot wait. I think this is going to be one of the ones that gets added next, hopefully, alongside the Mystic here, because it's unfortunately not been updated since January, so it's not even updated in a little while. But yeah, I likely think that this, or some variation of this, will be coming soon to the Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager itself. Oath of Conquest Paladin coming next. Now, this is one that I really like as a Paladin enjoyer. So this is a Paladin who seeks glory in the battle and the subjugation of their enemies. And this is more so an evil aligned, more of an evil aligned Paladin, but not fully evil. They're on their way to conquest. Some kind called Night Tyrants or Ironmongers swear this oath gathers into the grim order to serve the gods or philosophies of war and well-ordered might. So this is very role-playable with the Baldur's Gate 3 storyline, because you're on a quest. I played basically as an Oath of Conquest on my first playthrough, just trying to overcome and overtake everything. So this gives Armor of Agathis a command at 3rd level, hold Purse and Spiritual Weapon, bestow Curse and Fear, dominate Beast and Stone Skin, and Cloud Kill and dominate Person. So this is a really cool subclass. I think this is one of the more powerful ones that's in this game, as Paladin itself is quite strong. You also get the Chosen Adversary whenever you take the oath. You have your own oath, basically. You can use your channel oath to mark your next victim, making it tremble in your wake and granting you the upper hand in battle. As a bonus action, you gain advantage on attack rolls made against this target for 3 turns. Furthermore, when you hit the creature with a melee attack, you force it to make a wisdom saving throw or become frightened. Really good, but not, again, broken. So that's pretty great. And yeah, I like that. It's implemented a little bit differently, so very cool. And we also get the Conquering Presence at 3rd level. You get an additional Channel Oath ability. You can use your Channel Oath to execute a terrifying presence. As an action, you force each class that you can see within 9 meters to make a Wisdom saving throw. On failed save, the creature becomes frightened of you for 1 minute. So that's 10 turns, and that's pretty good. The frightened creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. So it's kind of like a hold monster type situation, but for frightened, which is not as good, obviously, as hold monster or hold person, but still, it's pretty powerful. And works kind of like the dreadful aspect of the Oathbreaker. So very cool, and it makes it re-roll it at the end of each turn. And also we got the Guided Strike here, giving the Channel Oath a +10 bonus to an attack roll. And this kind of works as it does in 10e. So it's very similar to the War Cleric, getting that +10 to an attack roll. You also get the Aura of Conquest, which whenever you make an emanating menacing aura when you're not capacitated, the aura extends 3 meters of you in every direction. If a creature is frightened from you, its movement speed is reduced to 0, and that creature takes psychic damage equal to your paladin, half your paladin level if it starts there. So obviously you can go up to level 20 with this and increases the aura, so very strong too. And then the Scornful Rebuke. So at level 15, those who dare to strike you are punished for their audacity. Whenever a creature hits you with an attack, that creature takes psychic damage equal to your charisma modifier if you're not incapacitated. And then you also get the Invincible Conqueror. So at 20th level, you get Harness the Extraordinary, Martial Prowess, and you can magically make an Avatar of Conquest for 1 minute and 10 turns. You have resistance to all damage, and you can make an additional attack as part of your regular attack action, and your melee weapon attack score a critical hit on a 19. So obviously at level 20, that's pretty high level, and not something you're going to get in this base game very commonly, but it's still possible. So people that use those mods to increase their max level will love this because this is very powerful. So also comes with its own dies. Very nice. So yeah, this one's really fun. I think it's a unique subclass that offers something that a lot of people want in a paladin. So next we got ourselves the first vampire, which is a warlock, and you make a pact with a powerful vampire cursed by the gods or born as a creature of the night. Hundreds of haunted beings serve this vampire, so why enter a pact with you? Because you can act in the light of day unhindered to call weaker vampires. So this is perfect for Rustarian if you want to go that route with him. It gives False Life and Bane at first level, Web and Blindness at level 2, Bestow Curse in Gaseous Form, Dominate Beast, Greater Invisibility, and Dominate Person and Seeming. It also gives you the Nocturnal Predator here. So with this, you as a Predator Knight, you have been blessed with Enhanced Vision in Darkness. So you have Dark Vision of 18 meters. If you already have Dark Vision, extends the range by 18 meters. That's pretty good. You also get Drain Life at level 1. Starting at the first level, you get an innate power to drain life from the living when you use an attack roll or cast a spell. You can use a bonus action on the same turn to make a melee attack against a creature within 1.5 meters of you. Your attack deals additional necrotic damage equals a 1d6 plus your charisma modifier on hit. You also get the Creature of the Night. At 6th level, you can use your action to polymorph on yourself, transforming into a bat or a wolf. While you're in either of these forms, you retain your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores, which is cool because not always in a wild shape do you ever keep those. So this means you would also keep your strength potion in it, so that's cool. So it's more like a wild shape than polymorph because you only cast on yourself, and it retain your mental ability scores. It does require concentration. It only costs an action to transform, so no spell slots are needed. So neither the wolf nor the bat have amazing stats, but as a wolf you can be more proficient in stealth and melee. So hey, a wild shape is good nonetheless. That's extra temporary health that you can survive with. So again, not broken, but a nice addition. You also get the Eldritch Appetite, so starting at 10th level, when you reduce a creature to 0 health points in your Life Drain feature, you get to use a reaction to consume the last of their fleeting mortality. When you do, you regain one of the expended spell slots, and when you use this feature, you can't use it again until a long rest. then you also get the Eternal Night. So at 14th level, your Vampire Patron gives you a taste of true immortality. You no longer age, getting resistance to necrotic damage. Additionally, per long rest, you can use a bonus action to gain the following effects for 1 minute or 10 turns. You regain 1d6 health points at the start of your turn if you at least 1 health point aren't in direct sunlight or running water. If you take radiant damage, this trait doesn't function at the start of your next turn. And when you use a life drain feature, you use it if you were expending a first level spell slot. So pretty cool. This one, again, not super broken, but it's got enough strength to it to give it some usefulness in combat. And it's also one that you could like subclass pretty well, because you get 6th level this creature of the night. So you do 6 and 6 with like a druid, even like a spore druid. I think that this one's really nice. So yeah, again, Halves Glint came up with this one, and I'll go with just a few more here. So let's rearrange these. The Death Knight being a very popular subclass, or a very popular class from, if you're familiar with WoW or World of Warcraft. It comes with 30 custom spells and passives from World of Warcraft. This one is an extremely well done one because you get the rune system. So with this, you get to choose like your subclass of Blood, Frost, or Unholy, similar to in WoW. And it's actually really strong. It also has some of the icons from WoW, so that's just a little another thing there. Got the Dark Transformation, Vampiric Blood, Pillar of Frost. Like, it comes with a lot of cool spells and different options. So Death Knight has proficiency in heavy armor, martial weapons, but not shields, and he uses charisma to cast. So you get different runes for each subclass specialization, up to a maximum runic power of 100. This is a resource pool that gradually increases your Death Knight levels until reaching level 12, until the Death Knight possesses 6 runes of subclass specialization, 2 of the other specializations for maximum rune power of 150. So you got Blood, which is mostly tanky, self-healing, similar to what it's like in WoW. Crowd control and primary emphasis on inflicting area of effect damage, and as unique mechanism, this class can accumulate stackable temporary shields known as Blood Shields through Death Strike and Death Pact heals. It can also retaliate against enemy assaults with a small area of effect boost while Blood Shield is active. This class can gain various advantages when positioned in an area with Death and Decay. The Frost subclass offers a straightforward and easy to play melee damage class, and it relies heavily on landing critical hits to activate various bonus effects. It also has a 15% independent critical hit chance against chilled targets, so that's actually really nice because you can make targets chilled with like a water elemental, and even like the Flail of the Ages can do that as well. So Frost Knight, we'll get over it a little bit more here, and the Unholy subclass, a more intricate playstyle. This gives the ability to summon undead minions that can hit enemies with diseases, and it does festering wounds to enemies. It achieves through either necrotic damage or festering strikes. A festering wound is a disease that stacks up to 6 stacks, and if you trigger to burst by specific Unholy Death Knight abilities. So this is really cool. You do need the script extender for this one, so I don't know if this one will end up coming to the Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager, because typically if you need the script extender, you don't get those classes in the game, but they're still really cool, and maybe someone will adapt this into something similar in the base game. And yeah, lots of different spells here. There's 30 different spells, and yeah, you got some really cool ones that gives +1 to different runes, and then like the Blood class gives a +1 to runes with different spells that it has here. Very similar to how it performs in WoW. Whenever this gets updated for patch 7, I'll be doing a build guide on this because it hasn't been updated in a little while. So if they do decide to patch it at all, maybe I'll find a way to download this on my Mac or on my gaming laptop and find a way to reverse the patch. But yeah, this is a really cool subclass. I think that someone will remake this at some point. And then next, we're getting into Cleric subclasses. This is really cool because it gives the Cleric a lot of different options. So this is the Twilight Domain Cleric. So I guess I'll just move my fat head over just to showcase this. So this is the Twilight Domain here. So this includes all the subclasses that didn't make it, because the Cleric has a ton. I think there's 14 or so of them, and they didn't all make it into the game. There is a ton of Cleric subclasses, but so here's the Twilight Domain, giving like Divine Strike, which is kind of like a smite of sorts, dealing an additional 2d8 radiant damage. These ones again aren't super overpowered, and that's why I wanted to pick them. The Mystic being probably the most overpowered class in this, and it's already in the game, but you got lots to look forward to. So this also is the Peace Domain, so this more so about giving your team more armors and increasing the amount of damage that they can take through a variety of different methods here. You can pause this if you want to see a little bit more there, but yeah, this is a really cool one. Peace Domain, Death Domain. I'm a little sad this didn't make it into the game, because this would fit perfectly with the lore of Baldur's Gate 3, but deals an additional 2d8 necrotic damage, so kind of like the necrotic smite. Yeah, this one's really cool. Touch of Death, channel divinity to destroy other creatures with life source by touch. You can hit a creature with a melee attack and use channel divinity to deal an extra 39 necrotic. Deals 5 plus twice your cleric level. So this person's obviously a high level. So yeah, there's quite a powerful subclass here at level 20. And then also this is the Forge domain. So this is a cool one. I really like this one. I wish this also got added in, because I like the idea of forging. Kind of similar to the Artificer class, but Divine Strike does 2d8 fire damage, and you can give yourself, while wearing heavy armor, +1 to AC and resistance to fire damage. You also use the Forge weapon. You can touch an object as a simple or martial weapon at the end of your next long rest or until you die. The object becomes magical, +1 to attack and damage rolls. So just like a magic weapon. But yeah, there's some really cool pieces here that you can really start to mess around with, and just for role-playing purposes, this is a fun subclass. Then we also have the Grave domain. So this is kind of like in between a necromancer and a spellcaster. So really cool passive features here. When ally can see within 30 meters, you suffers a critical hit. You can turn that attack into a normal hit. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and that's pretty good. Path of the Grave is an action. You can choose one creature you see within 30 feet of you, cursing until the end of your next turn. And the next time you attack, an ally of you hits the cursed creature. The creature has vulnerability to all that attack's damage, doubling your damage. Pretty nice. So Grave domain, obviously pretty powerful. And the Order domain. So this is more so like a mix between a Paladin and a Cleric together. You deal your Divine Strike damage onto an enemy, 2d8 Psychic, which is one of the best damage types, and Divine Strike with the Psychic damage too. So this one is actually pretty nice, because it can kind of fit into a number of builds, as there's not a lot of Psychic damage options in this game, but the Resonant Stone, easy to get. You can use that to increase the overall damage of the attacks. And then we also got the Arcana domain, which is kind of in the middle of like a spellcaster and a cleric. So you can learn extra spells. Obviously, you do need some extra mods for this one, but yeah, cool. Twilight domain, we got the Peace domain, we got all the domains here, and it does make some changes to the base game. So we got a good number of them here. Change the amount of starting gear, changes the starting gear that you get. Like here's Arcana domain, all the spells here, Blood domain spells, Death domain spells, Forge, and Grave domain, the Moon domain, etc. Order domain. It goes on and on. This is a really cool subclass. So giving a bunch of different cleric subclasses to the already amazing cleric. I think that this one is a very solid subclass to go with. And with that, I'll be doing a part 2 of this video, because this ended up going a lot longer than I wanted it to. But I just wanted to look at some subclasses that will be coming soon to a Baldur's Gate 3 near you. As I said, there's only a few of these that are already on the mod manager, but I expect to see a lot more soon. So let me know what subclass or class you're most excited to see in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate all the support, guys. You guys are the best. And I'll see you all in the next video.